Joel Kid is my name. I was born on the Donville train. Stoneman's cavalry came.
For this week's Punch of a Friend blog, we're looking at the American holiday Thanksgiving, since it's Thanksgiving week. To tie this to Duke's special, he has performed a number of songs that are connected to old Americana and that fit very well in the discussion of Thanksgiving. And one of those is the song The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. The song was written by the band, which includes Robbie Robertson, Rick Danko, Garth Hudson, Richard Manuel, and Levon Helm. And they performed this song on Thanksgiving Day 1976 in the concert The Last Waltz. So by default, the song is kind of associated with Thanksgiving in a way, because a lot of people watch that concert during the holidays. So today I have a guest with me to talk about some of these old songs, including The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. Would you please state your name?
My name is Becky Scales, and I live in Wasilla, Alaska. I'm down in Washington State visiting my sister here, who has introduced me to the music of Duke's Special. Just to give you a little background as to why this particular song is so touching to us, the basis of the song is family. Over 100 years ago, before the advent of television and vehicles and things like that, one of the major forms of entertainment and pastimes was music. I can remember stories about my great-grandmother, who were, of course, all very proper young ladies. We are from the area between Indiana and Kentucky.
The Mason-Dixon line.
Yes, that is the Mason-Dixon line. Kentucky was a border state, so to speak, although it probably seemed to lean more towards the south. Anyway, that is the area in which my family is from. Now, getting back to the music of my great-grandmother, again, their major pastime was music. Her and her sisters, the great-great-aunts, singing and playing the piano. So that legacy was passed down through our generations. My grandfather played the piano, and then my father was an excellent pianist and won awards, state awards. And then our grandfather bought us one of the old-time player pianos. So we had so much fun around the piano, and we all took piano lessons, and music was such a huge part of our lives. In the rural area where we grew up, at that time, we had 3 television stations, and basically that was it. So again, music was a focal point of our family, and so we know good music, and we've been exposed to a wide variety of music.
It was in the winter of '65. I was hungry, I was barely alive. We took a stand at Richmond and fell. Was a time I remember oh so well.
Songs about the Civil War for us are especially touching because we had many relatives and distant relatives and ancestors who fought in this war. It was, again, it comes down to the family. There were cousins, fighting cousins on different sides. We have a direct descendant who refused to fight because he did not want to fight against part of his family. We've had other direct descendants who were killed. Think of at least 3 who were killed in the Civil War. The Civil War, for me, elicits such an emotional response. I don't know about younger generations, but I know, at least for me and my generation and those who are older, have such sentimental feelings connected to the Civil War and the mourning of all the losses. My interest in the Civil War, and this song in particular, because the South was so devastated. Their means of making a living and providing for themselves were destroyed. Their infrastructure was completely destroyed. It just is very a very touching song, emotional song. It's hardcore Americana.
The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the bells were ringing. The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the people were singing. They went la na 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 na.
How did you respond when you saw Duke Special singing it in Georgia? What thoughts went through your mind?
Well, it was very interesting and very touching for me. And, you know, I was very appreciative that someone from a different country would come to Georgia and sing that song and sing it in the manner in which he did. It was very touching.
Yeah, I felt the same way. And the fact that he's from Ireland, Northern Ireland, added another layer to the meaning of the song, because there were so many Irish and descendants of the Irish that fought in the Civil War.
Oh, absolutely. I think probably the most of any other nationality or culture that fought in the Civil War were the Irish. I'm a history buff, and I have read about all that particular era, all the Irish people coming over from Ireland and coming to New York City, the harbors in New York, and getting recruited for the Civil War as they just stepped off the boat. Many of them did not have the opportunity to experience their American life before they entered into this war. There were so many Irish. You know, so much of our heritage is Irish. There were whole regiments that were Irish and carried their Irish flag to reflect who they were as a regiment in the Civil War.
So to me, listening to Duke Special with his Irish accent sing the song, it was a little strange at first, but then I started thinking there were people who sounded like him, who looked like him back then, that had those emotions.
Absolutely.
And so it definitely carries through when he performs that in the South. It was really...
Yes, and
moving.
you know, the Irish have had a huge influence on a lot of our types of music here, particularly country, gospel.
There's a song that will linger forever in our ears.